Hi everyone. My name is Ivelisse Gillestra. Organ-
Hello, I'm Vivian Nixon, and welcome to our Arts and Advocacy event, Resist and Rise. Thank you, Evelise, for that introduction. We're so happy to be able to provide everyone with a little entertainment and some inspiration for an active day of voting tomorrow. Even if you've already voted, you're going to be active, getting your neighbors out to the polls, getting your friends out to the polls, doing phone banking to get people out to the polls, and doing all the things that we need to do to make sure that everyone has a fair chance to participate in this democracy, especially those who have been impacted by the criminal justice system. Thank you to the College and Community Fellowship Advocacy team for putting together our Justice Votes programming throughout this election season and for putting together Resist and Rise in collaboration with Noel Gasani. Thank you, Noel, for your talent and your time. And thank you to the Art for Justice Fund for supporting the production of this event. And now, be prepared to be inspired so that you can resist and rise.
and welcome community. Welcome, community. Thank you once again. As someone with great affinity for art, as collective empowerment, where community is centered through artistic expression, we welcome you, we invite you, we celebrate the voices of this vibrant, magnificent woman. So resist and rise it is. College and Community Fellowship is an organization that empowers and centers directly impacted women and people through education, through civic engagement, because we want to resist and rise, and we want to dismantle the carceral system and use the many tools that we can use. One of them being art, one of them now being voting. And with this, I want to talk to you a little bit more about Justice Votes, which is a campaign of CCF to mobilize and to get people really engaged, to get our communities involved with the issues that we know we need to push forward and become that powerful bloc that we should be. And today we celebrate the imagination. This is all about that. This is all about activating that muse. This is about daring to envision new ways to address the vast of societal issues, and also give room to share our experiences. And art is advocacy, as we know, and you will see art has the power to leave you with a reaction, to make you think, to just make you come more together to represent the community. And today I want to talk a little bit about this program, which is Art to Equity, and it is a 10-session course facilitated by the amazing Noel Gusaini, who is a director, playwright, and amazing community artist. And this is being supported by the Art for Justice Fund, which is sponsored by the project of the Rockefeller Philanthropy Advisors. So we are going through some turbulent times. Tomorrow is an election, and we are here to come and get grounded, to stay grounded in community. And we are doing this virtually. And let's hear it up. Let's hear it up for the amazing poem repertoire of artists that we have. And please feel free to drop any comments on the platform that you're using. Let it be Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Share with us. Share with us what you're thinking. And let's hear starting this next poet spits fire. She is a wordsmith in her own right. I will give you now Celeste Greatness with the title. The poem that she's going to be performing is Brianna. And she identifies as she, him thread, motivational speaker, advocate, credible messenger, CEO of Inspiring Heroic Angels for Toddlers. She is an advocate and a poet in her own right. So please, let's give it up for Celeste Greatness.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. I am Celeste Greatness, and I am going to speak this poem that is a collaboration with me and one of my sisters who was unable to make it here today. So I'm just going to get going with Brianna. She laid in silence, her moves nonviolent. She lost her life, lost a fight that wasn't hers. Hands may have been shackled, but freedom was lost. Now votes will be made, lives will be changed, saved, changes will be made. What about her? Will you engage? Brianna, oh, we adore you, Brianna. I wish I was there that morning to be your rider. I would have been that strong man, yet woman, right beside you. I would have prayed for that cop so deep that once he went to sleep, he was asleep. Thank you. That is Brianna.
Yes, thank you. The greatness. Thank you, Celeste. You're powerful. And yes, you're right. What about her? Say her name, Breonna Taylor. To all the many women that we have lost, to all the voices, Leylin Polanco, Melissa Horn, Andrea Circle Bear, that was even pregnant and contracted COVID by being transported from one prison in North Dakota all the way to Texas. Darlene Lulu Benson Said here in New York. So we have really come together to really honor those that we have lost, to speak and hold space to our mothers, our sisters, folks that have been deemed invisible during a pandemic, to seek racial equity as one of the driving forces behind this Justice Vote campaign. And thank you so much for that poem. We know that we are living in some urgent times, and we need to keep pushing. We need to keep pushing collectively. This is about collective work. This is about collective empowerment, and this is about collective healing. Art is healing. Art, culture heals. So let's hear for another amazing writer, phenomenal advocate, unstoppable. She is Sister Eli, identifies as a forensic social worker. And her piece that she is going to be performing is Art for Justice. I am still here. I am still here.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. Once upon a time, I was told I was a poor, ugly black girl, yet was expected to be strong because I am a black woman. My man, he was stolen from me by a jury of whose peers, who knows. I took an Alfred plea because I was scared to lose my freedom, scared to lose the chance to raise my child, scared to go back in a cell where they refused me toilet paper and rushed me to shower because there was a male officer on tour. I am Sister Eli because I am finding myself, my voice, my strength. I am your sister. I am his queen. I am spiritual. I am sexual. I am a mother. I am a sinner. I am still here. And every day I was told to be ashamed. I am told I am well spoken, too well spoken for a black girl, too Yankee for an Afro Caribbean girl, and too loud for a proper girl when I just want to be heard and acknowledged. I crave for his warm body to comfort me and make me feel like his special lady. Am I not entitled to these benefits to assist me in this rigged race called life? One day I realized that these were haters, some uneducated, some unmotivated, or a victim to Stockholm Syndrome. And because of that, I was enraged. I am letting go of self doubt. I will take one step at a time towards my new reality. I am shedding comfort and convenience to find a new place in this world for me and my daughter. I'm realizing my purpose and speaking up. I am not perfect, but I am moving towards enlightenment, learning about my capabilities, setting personal boundaries, and praying for forgiveness. I am a woman. Hear me roar. I am resilient. I am sensitive. I'm carrying the weight of depression on my 5 foot 1 1/4 inch frame, but I am still here. I'm holding back the weight of the world from my daughter's precious shoulders. She will find her voice to rise and resist the box you try to shut her in.
Sister Eli, you are so powerful. I felt it. Thank you. And yes, you are still here. You are still here. We hear you loud and clear, and we support you. No brown or black woman should ever feel that they need a lifetime alibi. We are here to support one another. We have been entrapped to be erased, and we are not going to be excluded no more. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for your artistic expression. You are the writer, you are an artist. No doubt of that. And tonight I want also to applaud you because it is sometimes in art, it takes a lot of courage to put so much of oneself and so much vulnerability. So thank you. And we come together to share our voices and to really, really embrace the reclaiming and affirming of our power. And that is voice. And I want to introduce now an amazing, vibrant artist. She goes by CJ, as ever evolving. She is the ever evolving CJ with the piece Unchained. When I dare to be powerful.
Titled Unchained, Dare to be Powerful by the ever evolving CJ. Intricate haikus, complexity and beauty, intricate women, steeping herbal tea, apple cider vinegar, organic honey. To nourish yourself is to truly love yourself. Don't deny yourself. I've lived with anger, ignoring it, feeding it, learning to use it. It's empowerment. It's a device to protect. Express your anger. I hold the power. You cannot take my power. I am powerful. Unite and conquer. Different paths, yet same struggles. Let's come together. Acknowledge the pain. You can repurpose that pain. Celebrate your pain. Redefine yourself to rediscover yourself and reclaim yourself. I will be all right. When all my sisters are right, the right to be free. The kiss of freedom, sweetest kiss I've ever known. Don't stop kissing me. Sing in the shower. I can't sing to save my life. Singing in my car. Unchained, she will be. She's bruised and misunderstood. Unchained, she'll remain.
Thank you. Thank you. Unchained. Yes, unchained, you remain. That was powerful, CJ. Ever evolving, CJ. Thank you for the words. Thank you for the imagery. Thank you for making us feel, right? Thank you. And I want to introduce another amazing, amazing artist. But before I do that, I want to emphasize that we will not be silent. We understand that there are barriers, that there are strategies in place to remove us, to enforce voter suppression. But we know the importance of voting tomorrow. But even if you can register, or even if you can vote, don't ever forget that you still have power, that you still hold community, that you still can educate and talk to one another. The system has been designed to exclude our people, to remove our participation. Let it be by miseducation, by us not knowing this process, this electoral process that is part of one of the tenets of a democracy. Also, we want to include the many voices of all of those that have been disenfranchised. And it is with this resolution that we do the work that we do as advocates, as artists, as poets, as community. So I really want to thank you all. And I want to introduce now a phenomenal artist. What does this artist does not do? She is so involved. She's an actress, she's a writer, she's an activist. Her name is Mimi Pascual, and she will be presenting the piece Respect, Justice, You Who Rule the World.
Hi everyone, this is Mimi. This is a short excerpt from my one woman show. Thank you for letting me share with you tonight. Remember, know your rights, exercise your rights, and go out and vote. ICE agents arrested me on September 16, 2008. From its inception, I had no idea that my perspective on the criminal justice system would change forever. When I decided to go to trial, it was never about if I was guilty or if I was innocent. It was about my fight for justice. And it all began with my interactions with the agents. I decided that day that I was going to fight for my rights. I felt they violated me in so many ways. To better explain my story, the beginning of my injustices, let's begin with the indictment. 30 days after my arrest, I was indicted with a formal complaint from the federal government. At first glance, I couldn't understand it. The events that they said allegedly took place and the language that they wrote was all foreign to me. All I knew was that I was charged with a drug conspiracy case along with my cousin. As I read the indictment, the lies that these agents presented to the grand jury made me feel disgusted. I'm a first-generation immigrant who came from an acceptable family, but I was raised in a neighborhood that was surrounded by the lifestyle. All throughout my childhood, I saw drugs, guns, gangs, and shooting. It was nothing that I wanted to be a part of. I attended Fashion Industry High School. Immediately after I graduated, I enrolled in college. In my mind, if I didn't sell drugs or be a part of any gangs or hurt anybody, I could never be arrested for something I didn't do. But boy, was I wrong. I was arrested 2 hours after my cousin was arrested for picking up kilos of cocaine from her mule. He set her up with ICE agents. I remember that morning as if it was yesterday. She called me early in the morning to run errands with her. I didn't want to go, but since I had to move the car for street cleaning purposes, I said okay. It seemed like a regular day until about noon. My cousin was back and forth doing what she does best, and I started to get a bad vibe. I told her I want nothing to do with your BS today. I'm not in the mood for none of your foolishness. We kind of argued a bit, and I kicked her out of my car. In fear of what could happen, I abruptly parked my car and I left the area. Approximately 2 hours later, when I walked back to my car, I immediately get surrounded by federal agents. And this is where my nightmare begins.
Wow, Mimi, you left me like this. Thank you. Thank you for you are a great storyteller. I think that sometimes we don't realize that we have really moved from those traditional ways where storytelling was basically a way of educating the community, oral tradition as a way to impart knowledge, history, and ways of envisioning new strategies and paths for the future. So thank you, Mimi, for that amazing piece. We are bombarded by many barriers and by being policed in our communities with an intensity that we all know, we're very familiar with. But we are 70 million strong. These are 7 million nationwide that of folks that have been impacted by the justice legal system. 70 million strong. So imagine if we dare, and I do dare, to imagine something else where we are included. Yes, the state of affairs is calling us to be present and come in unity and in vision. So our the millions of our brothers and sisters and our families really are really with us. This is together we can really change. We can really change the narrative. We can really shift power, and we can really start coming as community in order to find solutions and alternatives, and of course making elected leaders accountable to us. Next in line is an arduous advocate. I have seen her at quite different actions, platforms, Always a pleasure to see her. Always such a good vibe. I want to introduce Chaplain Kim. Chaplain Kim, you know that Eliano, you are very well loved by the community, and her piece is A Soldier in the Army of the Lord.
Can you hear me? I'm so sorry.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, it's time to perform your piece, Kim.
I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in God's army. If I die, let me die in the army of the Lord. If I die, let me die in God's army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. Yes, I'm a soldier because where there's no justice, there will be no peace. In the army, if I die fighting for my Black people, because Black lives matter, in the army of the Lord, if I die, let me die in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. Yes, I'm fighting because my people need to be set free from the prisons. My God, yes, you know, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, the one whose blood will never lose its power. He's not pleased. He's not pleased about voter suppression. He's not pleased about white supremacy. And he's enraged about the fact, I don't know if I should get up, but let me just explain it to you. It's on my shirt. That my people are dying in the prisons across this country. You won't test them. You won't give them the proper PPE. And they're dying. It's modern day genocide. in the army. If I die, I said, let me die in the army of the Lord. If I die, let me die in the army. Don't walk to the polls. Run. Let my people go. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. I didn't know you could sing like that too. Amazing. Thank you so much. And you're right. You're right. We have been ignored in the middle of a pandemic. We have been excluded, removed. So, yes, we need to really amplify our voices. We need to amplify the voices of those inside that still have a voice. We need to really celebrate self-determination. And this next mentor of mine, artist, semantic, fierce warrior that will be performing next is Vivian Nixon. And she will read I Too by Langston Hughes. Hughes, a genius of the Harlem Renaissance. Do your thing, Vivian.
On this night, before we cast our votes in one of the most significant elections in our lifetime, I thought it only right that we bring our ancestors into this event. I Too by Langston Hughes. I too sing America. I am the darker sister. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes. But I laugh and I eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody will dare say to me, eat in the kitchen. Not then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America.
Wow. Thank you, Vivian. Yes. And we are America. We are the America that people wanted to put a blindfold and not see. And today, we're here. We're not sitting backstage. We're here, front row, everywhere, growing stronger. 70 million deep. That's a lot of folks. Thank you. Let's take a moment to ground ourselves. Take all of these words in. Words are so powerful. Let's breathe and let's keep the momentum going. Let's keep really building. Let's keep celebrating all this art, all this power, all this beauty coming here today. The next person in line is a mother. Her name is Michelle Quick, and her piece is Communication Interrupted. Take it away, Michelle. Do your thing.
I'm not sure if you all can hear me, but I'm going to go through it anyway. Good evening to everyone. I am Michelle. I'm not an angry Black woman. I am a mother. I have 2 sons. I'm not a victim. I am a survivor of domestic violence. As a matter of fact, I'm a survivor with a message to my sons. And here is a poem by Langston Hughes, Mother to Son. Well, son, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It's had tacks in it and splinters and boards torn up and places with no carpet on the floor, bare. But all the time, I's been a climbing on and reaching landings and turning corners and sometimes going in the dark where there ain't been no light. So boy, don't you turn back. Don't you sit down on the steps because you find it's kind of hard. Don't you fall now, for I's still going, honey. I's still climbing, and life for me ain't been no crystal stair. And I chose that poem because it reminded me of communication that sometimes is interrupted. Sometimes interrupted by an instance of when my son was in school and his father kidnapped him and took him to the Bronx. And I had to fight the courts 2 years to get my son back. But that's what they labeled me, an angry Black woman, until his father was busted in a drug raid and they allowed my son to come back home. But communication had been interrupted, just like communication was interrupted when my son was 16 years old, visiting his dad in the Bronx and got shot in the face waiting for a cab by Yankee Stadium. Oh my God. His communication was interrupted because they gave him a trach to cut his throat, although he didn't need that. But life goes on. Life goes on as time passed. 2 years later, when he turned 18, because of communication that was posted on Facebook, he found himself on Rikers Island. Communication interrupted. When I couldn't see my son, sometimes he would say, well, don't come see me, Mom, because you know it's kind of dangerous just to get to the visiting floor, because sometimes the officers, they don't walk us to the visiting floors and I may get jumped. So all of those empty nights that I had to hug my pillow and dry my tears because communication was interrupted. But I still climb and I'm still climbing. And I encourage each one of you tonight to resist challenges and barriers and rise. No matter where life finds you, take your power back. Use your voice. And if you haven't already done so, get out there tomorrow and vote, because all too often communication is interrupted, but you have that power to vote. Vote for you, vote for me, vote for our children. Resist and rise. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Michelle. Thank you so much. And you're right. You're right. Barriers have put into place. We are the dismantling of the family. And this is a way to acknowledging that those separations, acknowledging the damages and the displacement when a person goes to prison or is detained and has to see a family member through a plexiglass, or not even through a visit. It could be just communication through the phone. So it is so important that we keep those bridges, since we still have a system that works nonstop, getting us to these places. We need to do the same thing nonstop and empower one another and build with one another and learn with one another and unlearn with one another as community. And if you have not yet voted, you still can tomorrow. Be safe. Uh, get ready to do a long line. Be patient. Vote responsibly. If you don't know your poll site, you can reach us as advocacy, advocacy at ccf@gmail.com. Hopefully it will be yes, presenting right now. And if you are confused, you can reach out to us, and we will answer to the best of our ability any questions you have in regards to voting. We feel it is imperative to disseminate this information to the community, which has been left out for generations. This is an intergenerational design to keep us out. And we know we're not really falling for that. And next in line is Jamie Torres. She is an activist. Jamie is has been a phenomenal advocate with the Justice Vote campaign, and her piece is my nightmare in the system.
May 5th, 2019, around 6 a.m., there was a banging at my door. I woke up in a startle, my husband feeling the same nauseous emotion as he made his way to the door, eager to find out who was there. As the door swung open, standing tall in uniforms, the police announced, "A warrant!" The gore-like emotion consumed my body as to add on to the final question, but who? As my name left the officer's lips, it lingered for a bit. Life felt phantomistic, so translucent. I felt little to no light to it. No blueprint, no plans, no ideas, no helping hands. How will I wake up from this nightmare? Where do I stand? My son that was in the room and my daughter beside me? Life felt as if it were betraying me as to what my eyes deceived. In that moment, it came bright as day. My kids need me. My sister guides me. And my husband holds it down. I'm talking like Bonnie and Clyde be. Fear was an understatement. Terror pounded my chest like a school bell. The ringing playfully mocked my ears as I felt silence, as I kept asking, God, why me? My feet swollen from bone disease, internal and external pain, clawed my body pain, excruciating, worse than an average migraine. All I could do was weep. Light felt so discreet. It was a wake-up call for me to believe that life does matter. This is real to know discreet. The defeat? I know this is not over. Not until the judge announces the case is closed. It made me realize to be cautious around my boundaries and where I go. To protect my freedom and family, I will take deep and pride far. For as long as I have been on this planet, I know my reasons, who I'm willing to die for more. The world on my shoulders, my feet keeping me moving, my heart keeping me pumping. I believe there is a God, not know something either. He held me tight in his arms and crossed me through the spine-chilling waters of negligence. He swaddled me with the power to keep fighting. His love that I have for him is endlessness. It felt as if I was in a time capsule, stuck in a cramped up bottle, which was the holding area. My mind racing felt like a meter. Each heart pump felt like my own countdown. Like Fear. It was like a flesh eating virus beating me down, swelling up my throat, sick to my stomach. When I reached Rikers Island, my sugars were high, my pressure skyrocketed, and my foot had gotten worse. The air felt thinner, my knees felt weaker. This place was not a place where I wanted to be. It is not where I belong. As humans, we make mistakes. We weren't born with a blueprint or a civilization. We need to find ways to survive. When things get tough, no, I don't condone my actions, but what can I say? When times get rough, would it kill the justice system to show an ounce of courtesy? To treat us like human beings rather than filthy animals? To whom those out there who are a replica of me, think about the wages you can face. Look life in its rear view and contempt. Would you really be able to keep up the pace? Jail is not a place where you will want to end up in, no matter what, because of the cause nor the extent. I'm blessed enough that I can see the outside and not behind bars pent. I'm proud that I consider change and that I could turn my life around because at the end of the day, my life is no game. I hope to inspire others that it's not too late for a change.
That's right, Jamie. That is right. And our life is not a game. They need to see us as the human beings that we are, as human beings with a lot of potential. And this is about really creating a path of liberation. Uh, Art to Equity is a phenomenal project in order to amplify this liberation through art. So thank you for all of those that are voting to stand up for your community, that want to see the ending of mass incarceration, that want to become the amazing people we are destined to be. Yes, thank you. We're going to vote for change and we're going to rectify. We will rectify the legacies, the atrocious legacies of history. Yes, thank you, Jamie. Thank you for that. And next in line is Celeste Greatness with the piece No More Suffering.
Hello, everyone. I am here to perform No More Suffering. I am carrying the world on my shoulders, but then I realized it's just a thought in my head that if I didn't pay attention to, it would be dead. Then I think about the human that's somewhere left dead while their parents are somewhere lost in their head. I am carrying the light of me while my soul goes deep. No other joy than the veins coming from my feet. All I can think is, I love me. I love me. I am letting go of all the self portraits that people painted of me, the ones that no longer matter, so I won't let them repeat any suffering defeat. I am letting go of all the pain and trauma that I just keep holding on so deep. I am letting go of the hurt little girl that never felt home, the one who always felt alone. I am moving. I am moving on. I am moving on from all that went wrong. The wrong that I thought was right, so I went along. Along is no longer the song because I finally captured my strength to move to my song. The song that I stopped singing so long ago when the dance didn't come from my feet. The song that I listened to and I let sink me underneath. The song that I remixed and made about me, the song that I scream, I am me, I am me. The more that I dance to the song, will we, it is impossible to suffer defeat.
Finger snapping to all of the poets, artists, writers. Amazing. You are so talented, so powerful, so fierce. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me and honoring me with your words and your craft. Thank you to the community that joined us tonight. If you have not voted or you cannot vote, that is not the end. There are many ways where you can engage your community, where you can promote change, where you can educate your community, your family. So civic engagement is not only just voting, it is the single things that you do as community for your community. So I want to say a special thank you to Noel Gusaini. Thank you, Noel, who facilitated and guided and served as compass through this 10-session workshop. And you can find Noel at the information you will see on the chat. Thank you so much for supporting us, for supporting this talented artists, advocates, poets, writers, mothers, daughters, sisters. Thank you, community. I am so honored to be part of your community. Have a great night. Thank you.